What's going on, everybody? Christian Ballard Sports Media, coming at you quick live today. Won't be too long, but we got playoff games. But this weekend, of course, the Army Navy game, but also on Saturday night, we crown a new Heisman Trophy winner. And I figured I'd come on here, give my thoughts on the finalists. I figured I would, talk about the finalists and who deserves the trophy the most, And of course, I know a lot of people say that it's become a quarterback award. First off, to an extent, that's true. I know Devontae Smith a couple years ago for Alabama in the COVID year. Um, he he won it as a wide receiver for Alabama. But for the most part, when you look at Heisman Trophy winners ever since 2016, um, Lamar Jackson, then you had Baker Mayfield, then you had Kyler Murray, then you had Joe Burrow, then you had Devontae Smith, but you had like a period where there were four quarterbacks in a row. Um, then you finally had a wide receiver. And the last time before that, in 2020, the last time before a non quarterback won the award was Derrick Henry of Alabama. So, I don't know, but it's all quarterbacks this year, of course. Start with number one. Let's screen share and let's kind of read through it. Let's talk about it. Because I think it's very interesting. Give me a second. There we go. Computer's loading. Share. All right. Number one, Caleb Williams of USC. Yes, they lost the Pac 12 title. That is true to an extent. Well, not really to an extent. They lost the Pac 12 title. They failed to make the playoffs. And, should that hold above Caleb Williams' head? Like, should it hold him back from being a Heisman finalist? I don't think so. I know they lost two games, but I mean, Alabama ended up losing two games last year, and Bryce Young won the Heisman. Um, which, by the way, I still think he's robbed from his trip to New York. Uh, it says on here for CBS, and by the way, who put this out was Dennis Dodd 9 hours ago. Knee jerk reaction from Friday night. USC lost the Pac 12 college football playoff spot in the Heisman with Williams limping off the field. One night later, Dennis Dodd, changed my mind. Even with a bum hamstring, Williams was able to bravely stand in the pocket, basically, and throw for 363 yards and three touchdowns. There's no player who was more important to his team this season than Williams. He'll need 69 yards to become USC's single season passing leader, and he's already broken program records for total touchdowns and yardage. Okay, if you're breaking records for touchdowns, yards, all that stuff, and you're so close to being a single season passing leader, you deserve to be in conversation for the Heisman. And I think that's fair. And see when you look at not CJ, Caleb Williams. When you look at him, his stats this year, to be a Heisman finalist is well deserved. Caleb Williams has been at USC this whole season. He transferred from Oklahoma, went along with Lincoln Riley, and he's done phenomenal. He has the fifth overall QBR at 86.5. He is tied first for touchdowns In fact, I'll have to actually pull up these other guys too and see, but he is tied first with 37 touchdowns. He's fourth in yardage, 4,075 yards. He's a sophomore. If he does not win it this year, I guarantee you Caleb Williams will definitely win it next year because I think it's only up from here. I mean, there you can always find room for improvement no matter who you are. Um, and Caleb Williams is no exception. I know that we like to look at him and say he's ready as a quarterback for the NFL, but at the same time, it's like, you know, um, there nobody's perfect, and I say this all the time. Like even Trevor Lawrence, you know, as a freshman, he beat Alabama. The next year, it's like, how does he get better than that? You don't know, but you know that he can somehow, some way. You know, a guy can get better. Number two on the list. My final thoughts. I do think Caleb Williams deserves the Heisman. I think that he deserves a spot. I think he deserves a trip out to New York. And congratulations on him being a Heisman finalist. Okay, Max Duggan, the quarterback for TCU. This guy's in the playoffs. This guy came just shy of winning the not the Pac-12, the Big 12. Max Duggan is a really talented quarterback. He has carried TCU to a whole new level this year, and this isn't even his first year starting. He's a senior. I didn't even know the TCU quarterback's name last year. I don't know if anybody did, but now we know who Max Duggan is. He's got the 14th overall QBR at 80.2. He's got over 3,000 yards. He's got 30 touchdowns, only 4 picks. He's 12th in touchdowns. He's 16th in yardage. Very much improved in every single category compared to the past few years. The only red flag I see is, does his performance against Kansas State hold him back? He had a 50% completion percentage, whereas he has had games where he hit 70% against Iowa State on rivalry weekend. But in the Big 12 title game, he hit 50% only. He had only 1 touchdown. He had a sack. He had a pick. He averaged only 7 yards a throw. And, I mean, 251 is good, but he's also had quite a few 300-yard games. So he didn't live up to his potential, to what we've seen from Max Duggan. I think he deserves to be a finalist. I really do. But the last time we saw him take the field, he was a little iffy and his team lost. They got in the playoffs, but yes, the last time we saw him take the field, it was not good. So, CJ Stroud, he, based on talent alone, deserves the Heisman. Very talented, good strong arm, good mobility out of the pocket, can extend plays with his legs. He was the front runner for most of the season and even going into it. But then after that Michigan game, he kind of lost it, I think it's one of those where you can't write a guy off because of one performance. I really don't think you can do that. And if he can get his team to the playoffs with the talent that he has, even though they lost the Michigan game in a blowout, he's more than that game. You cannot define a player by one game. Again, Ohio State predicted, or not even predicting, is set to play at Mercedes-Benz Stadium on New Year's Eve against Georgia in the Peach Bowl. Outside of the Michigan loss, and you could say Michigan won that game more so than Ohio State lost. Like, is Michigan that good? 45-23. Holy cow. He beat teams like Notre Dame. He put 44 up on a pretty solid Penn State defense. He put Iowa is defensive led. I still think Kirk Ferentz has one of the best defenses in the Big Ten. He put 54 on Iowa, put 52 on Wisconsin, put 56 on Indiana. He's got 3,340 yards. He's got a QBR of 82, and he's got 37 touchdowns. Impressive performance this year by C.J. Stroud. And not even out of nowhere. He did great last year. He was a Heisman finalist. I think he was even the runner-up to Bryce. But C.J. Stroud, I think, definitely deserves to be a Heisman finalist. And, he deserves a trip to New York. Now, this I didn't realize before. This is the top three. Another finalist that we have that is not on that list. Speaking of playoff teams, what would it be without Georgia? What would it be without Georgia? Stetson Bennett. Stetson Bennett the fourth is a Heisman finalist. There has not been a Georgia player to be a Heisman finalist since Garrison Hurst in 1992. Joe Klatt was on this week. Of course, he's on Fox. He named 10 different alternatives to Stetson Bennett. I don't know, man. I think Stetson Bennett does deserve a trip out there. He's got the number one team. He's playing out of his mind. He won a championship last year. And let me, you can only go up from there, right? You really can. I'm not here to say Georgia's going back to back. Georgia's not unbeatable. They're not unstoppable. It's hard to stop them. Can Ohio State do that? We'll see. But you look at Stetson Bennett, he's got a 68 completion percentage. He's got 20 touchdowns, only 6 picks. He has taken 7 sacks, though. His longest play of 83 yards. He averages 8.7 per pass. And I guess the question is that better than last year where he was not a Heisman finalist? Well, he's got a better completion percentage. He's got better yardage. The only thing, he does have one less pick. He doesn't have as many touchdowns, but then again, he still has 2 games left to play, most likely, at least one. We'll see. I really think that he has carried the offense of Georgia pretty good enough to an extent that he deserves a shot at the Heisman. I know it's crazy because he's a walk-on, he's a 3-star, and blah, 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 this and that. Nah, man. Stetson Bennett can launch that thing. He has receivers that trust and believe in him. He's been extending plays all season. He's been chopping up teams all season. You saw what Tennessee did to Alabama, right? That same Tennessee team. Stetson Bennett had a 68 completion percentage. He had 2 touchdowns. He had no picks, no sacks, 257 yards. Amazing. Incredible. Did you watch the SEC title game? 50 points for Georgia's offense. Maybe there was a defensive score in there, actually, I think. But anyway, 50 points is 50 points for Georgia. He had a 79 completion in one game. That was his best game all year. 79.3, 4 touchdowns, longest play of 32, 274 yards, 23 of 29. No picks, no sacks, a QBR of 96. It was incredible, folks. So those are your Heisman finalists. Max Duggan, CJ Stroud, Stetson Bennett, and Caleb Williams. Joel Klatt, you should have seen this. He named maybe 5 different guys that could have been Heisman finalists over Stetson Bennett. Hendon Hooker, Michael Penix, Bo Nix. Good God. You mean the same guy? He named 2 quarterbacks that Stetson Bennett beat. Man. Hendon Hooker, Michael Penix, Bo Nix, DTR from UCLA, Drake May, or even Blake Corum, all who had better seasons than Stetson Bennett. I don't know if that's true. I doubt it. But what have their teams overall done? Y'all crazy. Anyway, congratulations to the Heisman finalists, CJ Stroud, Max Duggan, Stetson Bennett. Great seasons for everyone. And seriously, this is going to be a good Heisman show on Saturday. Don't forget the Army-Navy game at 3 o'clock. Stetson Bennett, Caleb Williams, Max Duggan, CJ Stroud, congratulations on being named Heisman finalist for 2022. The best of luck to all of you, and may the better guy win. I know I titled this Let's Talk the Playoffs too. We'll continue talking about the playoffs as we get closer and closer. But with the Heisman Trophy ceremony this weekend, I figured we'd definitely talk about that. You have the college football playoff. You got Michigan, TCU, Georgia, Ohio State. Georgia just looks unstoppable. It would not surprise me if they go back to back. I expect it to be Georgia, Michigan. Michigan could give them a game for a little bit, but Georgia could climb on top. It's ridiculous what they brought back, and it's insane. Like, they lost their whole defense, man. Pretty much. They're still here. Go away. Oh my gosh. These are going to be fun playoff matchups, though. I truly believe we got the 4 best teams, and hopefully they're not blowouts. Hopefully they're close. Hopefully they're good. We'll see. But anyways, I'm going to get out of here. I love y'all. Good luck to all the Heisman finalists, and good luck to these teams in the playoffs. It is bowl season. A week from today, it is bowl season. But we got the Army-Navy game this weekend. Again, what has the line changed? I don't really know. I think it was maybe 7 the other day when I checked it. Let's see. Army has a 51.2. Oh, it's all the way down to 2.5 for Navy. Dang. I could have sworn I saw 7 the other day. And how is Navy favored? I mean, they're giving up more than they're scoring. Army at least has some type of offense. But anyways, I'm gonna get out of here. I love y'all. Hope everyone has a great day and a great weekend ahead. Don't forget tomorrow, my 21st birthday, and we celebrate 3 years on Ballard Sports Media. I love and appreciate all of you. I can't even put it into words, and you know, um, I just appreciate all the love and support the past few years on here. So come celebrate tomorrow night, and this should be fun. Love y'all. Peace out.